is obviously I'm Chris with Medical Solutions, and we're here to set up the infuser. So you want to track down your infuser. Got one here in front of us. What we want to do is actually take off the dummy cassette that's on the side of the machine. Dummy cassette is sitting here, so we want to take this red lever, and you probably can't see it from where you're standing, but on top of the red lever there's a little guide that shows it's in the lock position. So we want to move the red lever from the lock position to the unlock position, and our dummy cassette is just going to fall right off. Move it over, falls off. Very, very simple. Now the dummy cassette just protects the side of the machine from getting damaged. You can see that just has foam on it. So what we want to do with this is put it in a safe place so it doesn't get thrown away. It does have a hook on the back here, so I'm going to hook it over here just to kind of get out of the way. That's fine. I'm just going to get it over here for now. But you can see that the components are on the side of the machine. We can turn the machine on at any time. I have it plugged in. That's the best way to use it, is keep it plugged in. It does have a 2-hour battery life on it, but that's designed just for transporting it. So try to have it plugged in when you are using it. This is the international symbol for power. So I'm going to go ahead and press that button down. It's going to go ahead and turn itself on. You can see it's going to go through a series of tests, and once it's done with the test, then the screen will pop up. So now we have 3 disposables that we need to put on. We have a cassette, a patient line, then we have a large reservoir, which is our filter as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the cassette out of the packaging. I already have the packaging sitting here next to me, but it looks just like this. So let me move this so you can get a little bit better view for those guys recording. So I'm going to take this out of the sterile packaging, just pull it open like that, slides right out. And then we have our cassette here, just like this. Now, all the tube is ran in here for you, so when I talked about it being easy to set up, this is one of the advantages, is the tubing's already pre-ran for you. So you don't have to run any tubing. All you have to do is literally snap the cassette on the side of the machine. So I'm going to put the side of the machine towards you. What we want to do first is take this red lever, move it straight out. It's going to put it in the latch position. So now with it straight out, just in the latch position, and then open this little door right here. And now we're ready to snap our cassette on the side. Now you can see that there's 2 little guides here at the bottom where my fingers are. These little guides are going to line up with this hook here. So it's going to sit on at a little bit of an angle, just like that. And then you push it up. I'm going to do it nice and slow. And if you look right inside here, you're going to see that metal bar. And when I push it in, that metal bar is going to go over top that lip. Did everybody see that metal bar? Now it's latched on. So it's latched, but we need to lock it. So we want to go ahead and lock it into place, just like that. Now it's locked into place. Then this tube that's sticking out here doesn't quite look right. We want to take that tube and stick it all the way in that door, push it all the way in, and shut that door. So make sure you put the cassette on, lock it into place, then stick the tube on. If we do it the opposite of that, we stick the tube in, then we lock the cassette, we could actually pinch that tube because the tube's not lined up right. It's designed to be locked on and then push the tube in. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we have the cassette on. We're done with the cassette. What we want to do next is go ahead and open up our large reservoir. It's going to be in a packaging just like this. Pull this open. It's got a lot of Velcro on it, so it's in here pretty good. So just pull the Velcro off and then pull the reservoir out. It's going to look just like this. So what we want to do, turn our machine so it's facing you. We want to stick our reservoir on the hook that's here. Now you should line the hook up and then leave it there at all times so it's always lined up and ready to go. I think it's about right now, but what we want to do is make sure the numbers that are on the big flat part are facing the front of the machine so you can actually read them whenever you are standing in front of the machine. And then the little lips here slide right in here. So I'm just going to push it in just like this, give it a little bit of a tap, and it locks into place. Now it's locked in there, it's not going to go anywhere. When you want to remove it, press that little tab down, and then you can slide it back out. So locked in there. Now we can take our ports that are color-coded and we can connect them. This has 5 IV ports or blood bag ports that you can connect 5 different types of fluids to it. I'm just going to stick those out of the way for the time being. Now you can see that we have yellow and blue color-coded caps. So I'm going to just pull off our blue caps here. and then we're going to connect our ports to these. So it looks like we're a little bit low. So I'm going to just move this up slightly. And we'll just keep this locked into place here the whole time. So when we're done with the machine, just leave this holder right exactly where it's at, and it should always line up so you don't have to move it. Then the next piece is our yellow. We're going to take the cap off here, and then take our cap off here, and then connect our yellow ports. It's a lure lock, and it just twists together, just like that. Now, these ports won't connect to the wrong one, so you can't connect this one to that one or that one. So even if you pull the color-coded caps off, or if you're colorblind, you can't connect the wrong ports. The last piece of the puzzle is our patient line that comes in sterile packaging as well. Go ahead and pull the patient line open, just like that.
Is that patient line inside that box, or are those three separate
They're
packages?
3 separate packages.
And so they'll just be in proximity on the shelf?
Yeah, they were actually all together on the shelf.
Okay.
So then you go ahead and you have your patient line. This is a 6-foot patient line, just like this. Has a red cap over the end of it here. Pull that cap off, and then pull our red cap off here, just like that, and then connect our patient line. Now it's connected. Very, very simple. So that's a setup of it. So what we want to do next is prime it. So priming it is very easy. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a simple way to prime it. We have a couple ports on top here. We're going to go ahead and just take our patient line and connect it to one of these ports. So we're going to twist the cap off here, and it just twists off. You can do either one of these. The yellow one goes back through the filter. The blue one will just dump it back in. And we can throw this out. Then we're going to take our little red cap off our patient line and go ahead and just connect it to the top of the reservoir. Now what's going to happen is when we're priming it, we're just going to dump fluid back into our reservoir. So we're not wasting any fluid at all. Now you don't have to prime it this way. You can certainly hold this over a sink or a trash can, but it is going to squirt a little bit of fluid out while it's getting the air out. So if we just connect it to the top of here, we don't waste any fluid at all. And this is an easy way to prime it. So just keep your cap for the time being. So we'll just set it over here. Now we can go ahead and spike our bag that's hanging up here. So today we're going to prime it with saline. So we have one saline bag that's sitting up here. So I'm going to go ahead and just take one of my ports, and I'm going to clamp off the other ones that I'm not using. So I'm going to clamp off 4 of them. And then I'm going to connect the one that I did not clamp off. We'll just get these up and out of the way. And then all we're going to do is spike the bag. We don't have to squeeze the bag, we don't have to get air out of it, we don't have to do anything like that. Just spike it. And you can see that fluid is starting to dump into here. Once it gets to about the 250 mark to 300 mark right in here, you can go ahead and press prime. Prime is a button that's flashing. If you want to go ahead and just double check and make sure your ports are all connected, you can do that as well. But once it fills up to the 300 mark, if it's taking too long, you can go ahead and squeeze it to get the fluid in there quicker if you want to. You know, if you're in a hurry, it's not going to hurt it at all. But it's up there, it's about the 300 mark, so we're just going to press prime. We press prime one time, and it's going to automatically prime the cassette. It's going to take about 15 seconds to prime this cassette. Once it's done priming the cassette, we just have to manually hold down the prime button, and you can see it's done priming the cassette. What we want to do is just manually hold down this prime button until we watch this fluid work its way all the way through, and there's no more air in this patient line. You can see that there's air bubbles because this line is not primed yet. So what I'm going to do is just hold this button down.